My name is Glenn Robinson. I'm a fiction writer, and today I visit Rosebank Cemetery, Edinburgh. How we remember the dead tells us a lot about who we are as a society. Who we remember tells us even more. Today I visited Rosebank Cemetery. It is the closest final resting place to my home and is perhaps best known for the Gretna Rail Disaster Memorial. In May 1915, over 200 lives were lost in a multiple train collision. Soldiers on their way to war met with disaster before even leaving Scotland. Many of the men who came from the Leith area were brought back to Edinburgh for mass burial. They were buried 3 deep, and the funeral procession took over 4 hours. The enormity of what happened that day is hard to get your head around. For every life lost, scores would have mourned the death of a loved one. One account tells of a Scottish gentleman killing survivors at the scene, much like when I put down a badly injured animal. I'm uneasy with the thought and angered by the wasted potential of these men sent to their deaths. So in the glorious sunshine, over 100 years after the event, I'm unsure what I might find. I glance at more recent graves, grandparents and grandchildren who died 30 and 40 years ago still have fresh flowers at their graveside. Another stone describes a wife and then decades later of the wife's mother's death. Another tombstone tells of a woman who arrived on these shores out of love but who then passed away. These are all human, humble stories, and I am touched. All these people are still loved and not forgotten. The memorial itself is well kept and is in good condition. Names are in alphabetical order and tell the casual observer the rank of each of the soldiers listed, and begin sad at the loss, if little unsure of the need to rank the deceased. After a moment's reflection, I turn and walk away, but very soon I notice a gravestone that lists a memorial for one John Anderson. This John Anderson was a royal engineer and had made it to war. He had lost his life 2 months before the train disaster. John Anderson was killed in action at Neuve-Chapelle in France. What struck me at first was the name. I have a great-grandfather called John Anderson who was in the same regiment and fought in the same war, but survived. If he had not, I would not have been standing reading this gravestone, reflecting on the lives lost. I think of the lives of people who would have existed had there not been a war. You wonder how different the world might now be. It is possible that both John Andersons might have known each other, or they might have known of each other. It is easy to imagine an administrative era, each man standing in each other's boots. I stood before that grave, knowing that for at least a blink of an eye I'd have this privilege of life. I thought again of how humble we are in the face of death, and how so little of what we worry about now is important. The exception is the love we have for each other.